It started like so many teenage fights do, loud, messy, full of bravado, but by the time the crowd had scattered and tempers cooled, something unexpected happened. Raul Val didn't just walk away, he came back, alone, and what happened next turned a scuffle into a killing. Witness Charlie Canary told the court that the fight had ended. Everyone had pulled back. But Val, he returned, and not just with fists this time, he had a knife. He moved toward the only person standing nearby, James McGrath, a 17-year-old kid who wasn't even part of the brawl, just someone trying to leave. And in one sudden motion, it happened. Val lunged. James staggered, and the entire night changed forever. James McGrath wasn't throwing punches. He wasn't shouting. He wasn't even trying to win anything. He was just standing there close enough to be seen, too slow to escape what was coming. Witnesses said it clearly. James had no part in the fight. He was backing off, empty-handed, when Raul Val turned toward him, not toward someone who hit him, not toward anyone shouting threats, just James. And with no warning, Val lunged. One movement, one blade, one choice. James was simply the closest person, and that, in the end, was enough to get him killed. Raul Val's lawyers didn't waste time. From the start, they planted a seed. Maybe Val was scared. Maybe this wasn't a targeted killing. Maybe he was just a teen who got hit and reacted. They pointed to one thing, Charlie Canary's first police statement. In it, Canary supposedly said that Val was punched before anything else happened. And now in court, the defense is using that to paint a different picture. A picture where Val wasn't the aggressor, but the one trying to defend himself. But here's the catch. The fight was over. Everyone had walked away. Val had left too, and then came back with a knife. So the question isn't just who hit first. It's this: when the danger passed, why did he return? And why did he choose James? Taylor Capla took the stand with a trembling voice. Her words were simple, but they cut deep. She said James wasn't doing anything. He wasn't yelling. He wasn't fighting. He was just there. And then she saw it. Val moved fast, too fast to stop. She said he lunged. That was the word she used. A single violent motion. And then James dropped. The courtroom fell silent when she described the look on his face. Confused, shocked, like he didn't even realize what had happened. For Taylor, it wasn't a memory, it was a trauma. For the jury, it was a moment they couldn't unhear. Because if Val truly felt threatened, why didn't he stop to defend? Why did he just go for the blade and go straight for the heart? Those were the last words anyone heard from James McGrath. Another witness, pale and shaken, told the court what they remembered. James stood there for a moment, clutching his chest, his shirt turning dark. His lips moved soft, almost like a whisper. I just got stabbed. Then he collapsed. The courtroom heard from the state medical examiner next. Cold facts, clinical words. The knife had gone straight into James's heart. The wound was deep, fatal, and left no chance. Death was almost immediate. This wasn't a scuffle gone wrong. This was a final blow, silent, sudden, and deadly. Witnesses said the first fight ended. People were separating, catching their breath, stepping back. But Raul Val didn't just walk off. He disappeared for a moment, and when he returned, he wasn't empty-handed. Testimony revealed something chilling. Val left the scene, got a knife from somewhere no one knows exactly where, and then came back. Not to stop anything, not to talk, but to act. That blade wasn't there during the first clash, which means one thing: he made a choice, a deliberate one. He armed himself and returned. In cases like this, the timeline matters. That pause, that moment away tells the story. and it may be the difference between a heated mistake and murder. Right after James fell, Val didn't run. He didn't scream. He didn't even seem to understand what had just happened. Multiple teens, some granted immunity to testify, recounted the same words. Raul Val looked around, pale, stunned, and said, "I think I just stabbed someone." It wasn't shouted in panic. It wasn't said in rage. It was quiet, like the weight of what he'd done was just sinking in. That one sentence turned the courtroom cold. Because if it was self defense, if it was fear, why the confusion? Why the shock? Why didn't he know? The jury heard it loud and clear. This didn't look like someone protecting themselves. It looked like someone who didn't expect the finality of what they'd just done. By now, the courtroom had heard everything. Two versions of one deadly night. The prosecution painted a clear path. The fight ended, Val walked away, then came back armed and stabbed a boy who wasn't fighting. A deliberate act, a fatal decision. The defense. They stuck to their thread. Val was hit first. Emotions were high. He was overwhelmed. Not a killer, but a scared teen reacting to chaos. But here's what the jury must decide. Which version holds up under the weight of evidence? Was James McGrath an innocent bystander caught in a calculated move? Or was this just 1 second of madness in a night that spun out of control? Two stories. Only one will matter. After the final witnesses stepped down, Val's defense made their boldest move yet. They filed a motion for acquittal. Their argument? That the prosecution failed to prove intent, that too many witness accounts conflicted, that this wasn't cold-blooded murder, just a moment of confusion in a fight that spiraled out of control. They told the judge, the case is weak. The story isn't consistent. Don't even send it to the jury. But for a 17-year-old boy lying dead from a wound straight to the heart, the prosecution says the facts speak for themselves. That knife didn't appear by accident, and Val's return armed was no coincidence. Now it's up to the judge. Dismiss it or let the jury decide. No more arguments, no more witnesses, no more chances to explain. The only thing left now is a decision. Did Raul Valle act out of fear or calculation? Was James McGrath a random victim in a chaotic fight or the tragic end of a deliberate return? The judge will rule on the acquittal motion. If denied, the jury will get their instructions, hear final arguments, and take the weight of it all behind closed doors. One knife, one life taken. One final choice for the courtroom, for the jury, and for justice.